welcome to another episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
Hey, Jason, what's on your mind?
Dude, I know nothing about the greatest spectacle in racing. I'm talking about the Indianapolis 500. It's coming up here, May 24th. And dude, you need to help me. Talk to me about it.
Well, I have to say, man, for the first time in my whole life, I'm going this month to the Indy. Being a former educator, I could never go. Why? It's right at the end of school. So they run it every Memorial Day weekend, and they have for 110 years.
Wow.
And, working out in Colorado, it's in Indianapolis, and it was never close enough for me to go out, watch the race, get back, close up school, do all that kind of stuff. So it just always fell at the wrong time. So this is why I'm going. But the reason it's a novelty, at least for me, it's the great race, at least in America. I don't know about the rest of the world thinks it's the greatest race, but, hey, back in the day, the idea of the race was they developed a 2.5 mile oval. And what makes Indianapolis Speedway interesting is it's relatively flat. You're going into maybe an 8-degree corner on banking. And so it's kind of more like a rectangle with rounded corners. So it's not like a true oval. And it's impressive. Like I've flown into Indianapolis a few times for various different things. And you see that on the airplane, you're like, wow, that is a big track when you're looking down at it. And the whole idea is how fast can you go around it, and can you be faster than other cars? So when cars first came around, say 110 years ago, that was the whole premise, is which car was the better car to handle something like that. And 500 miles, that was a big deal. A lot of cars didn't even go 500 miles back then before breaking down. And that was part of the spectacle, is can a car even go 500 miles, and who can be the fastest? And well, as all sports, they evolve, and the cars have gotten better and better. And back then it was kind of, hey, this group of people made this car, which would be very different than this car. And then they started setting up rules and things like that. And then, I was a big fan back in the 70s. I grew up around racing. My dad would take us out to Phoenix International Raceway, and we would watch IndyCar out on that. It was what was called kind of a tri-oval, or an oval with a dog leg on the backstretch. And so it wasn't a true oval also. So I grew up around watching it because, my dad liked it. So so every year I had to watch it on TV. And now, they're hitting average speeds, say for the race, are lower than when they qualify. So one thing you need to know is cars have to qualify. And so what that means is they do 4 laps. So one car will go out by itself, run 4 laps. They take an average of that and say, okay, you ran 225 miles an hour average. Boop, you're on the board.
Yeah, because it says 200 mile per hour is the qualifying speed. Yeah,
so, and then the next guy or next driver goes, and they'll qualify, up in the 230s. Some guys are hitting 235, even up to 240 miles an hour, but then the average brings it down. And then during the race itself, they'll be running low 220s, because the car will be set up different. Because these are engineering marvels, these cars, because they're hitting a turn at 200 plus miles an hour with very little banking. And so they set up a car that has a wing in the back, and that's to press the rear tires into the pavement. So if you ever driven your car and you go around a corner and the back kind of slides a little bit, that's a bad thing in racing. And so yeah. Once you kind of understand all the engineering that goes behind it and the safety, and what's funny is the cars aren't any faster today than when I grew up. You should be like, why? Well, back then back in the 50s, especially in the 30s and 40s, those days, that was a death sport. I mean, people died quite a bit.
Very dangerous. That's
very dangerous. So now they have a lot more safety technology. If you mess up, I guess here's the holy grail of Indianapolis. So say you mess up coming out of a turn, the wall's right there. You're going to hit that wall anywhere between 50 to 100 G's. So forces of gravity against you. Most people don't survive 5G car crash, right? These drivers would hit it at 50 G's or higher. So they have to have the technology around them that makes them walk away. And a lot of people didn't walk away, so that's why people tuned in, and maybe why it's not as fashionable today is because, it's not the death and dangerous sport that it used to be. It's still very dangerous,
Sure.
But, everyone knows Mario Andretti, right? Do you know Mario Andretti?
Yeah, I know that name.
Well, the reason Mario is legendary is, one, he won Indy 500 multiple times. Okay. That's one form of racing. And then there's what's called Formula One. That's Europe's, road racing, holy grail, right?
Right.
The cars look similar, but yet are very different. Mario was also a Formula One champion. So not only did he go over to Europe, clean house, become champion, he also raced this race and also raced the Indy series here in the United States, which there's tracks all over, there's tracks in Texas,
right.
ovals. There's an oval in Iowa, Kansas has one. I grew up in Phoenix. We have an oval, but then there's road racing that Indy does here in the United States too, like out at, Watkins Glen. And then you've got, Laguna Seca, and then you have Long Beach. And so you have a mix of racing over here, ovals and road racing versus European Formula One racing is all road racing. So that just means there's a lot of turns, right? And, so Mario won them all. He could drag race.
He's like the best ever.
Right.
Is he the best ever?
Well, that's why he's regarded as one of the best. He won Indy. He won the Indy series. He also was a Formula One champion. He could do hill climbs. That was a big thing back in the day. Can you be fastest up Pikes Peak? He's done it all. He's just a master driver of all disciplines. And that's very rare. Nowadays, everything's a specialty, right? So drivers in Formula One, they stick with Formula One. They start in go-karts, work their way up. Indy drivers here in America do the same thing. They work their way up. But, one thing about Indy is it's an international driver sport. I think there's only a handful of Americans that really race in it. I don't really know anymore, but a lot of my heroes growing up came out of like Brazil, came out of other countries. We have Japanese drivers. So Indy's if you can drive and you can qualify and you find a team, you can come drive Indy. And
looking at the interweb, Alex Palou.
He's Mexican. From Mexico.
Helio Castro.
Oh no, Palou. Alex Palou is Spanish.
Alex Palou. Sorry,
yeah,
okay.
Palou.
Alex Palou and Helio Castro
Neves.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He's from
4-time winner.
Yeah, 4-time.
No, I'm not going there.
Yeah. So it's very international, and I don't know. Do you know the name Al Unser or the Unser family? No. Okay. They're a famous family out of New Mexico, and Al Unser won it 4 times, I believe, and I'm not sure how many. I think Mario maybe won it twice, but that's it. It's like who can get to 4 and go past 4. So there's never been a 5-time winner of the Indianapolis 500, and so we'll see. There's a lot of guys with two of them, and I'm trying to find
where he's from.
Trying to find my list. So
22nd, Helio did finish 13th.
Right.
In the 109th 500. all the partnerships with Ganassi.
Yep, Canassi Racing, Chip Canassi Racing,
Steve,
and
you know all that.
yeah, I mean,
He's 50.
here's the one thing is
He's older.
people watch it on TV and they're like, yeah. But if you ever go to a live race, ever, the noise and the sound and the vibration of a live, whether it's NASCAR, Indy, Formula One, even your local dirt track, you'll be like, whoa, this is different. You know, it gets kind of sanitized on TV. You know, it looks safe.
Right.
You know, if you turn up the volume on your TV, maybe you understand a little bit. You go live and you hear the crashes live and you hear the noise live and you feel the wind, especially if you get some good seats and you're down low, you know, and there's tire chunks flying into the crowd, you know, and you kind of get the visceral experience of racing. That's why people get hooked and they come back. And everything's so digitized now. And what's funny is they put a series on Netflix called Drive to Survive, which is about Formula One racing, which looks very similar to Indy racing. All of a sudden, the sport just exploded. It got popular, and it's because people get to see behind the scenes of what it takes. They're athletes. You know, they're super strong. They have to have a neck that can hold the G-forces hour after hour. And
yeah, dude.
Right?
Pastor Venus is from Brazil. And,
Brazil.
He's 50 and he's won 4 times, 2001, 2, 9,
right.
and 21. That's a pretty good span of different times, and he's hoping to do it, obviously.
Right.
You know.
He's, I think, the one guy who's a 4-time winner that's still trying for the 5th time. So that makes it fun. And a lot of them are also one-offs. And what I mean by that is if you can qualify, first you have to get a license to say, hey, you can handle an oval, because if you don't understand air over the car in front of you, you can crash really easy, because you've ever put your hand out of a car window, you know, okay, I've done that maybe at 50 miles an hour. Put your hand out of a car window at 150. It's going to rip your arm back, right? And so air is everything. And if you don't understand how airflow works over the car in front of you, and you get that draft wrong and you get that pass wrong, you're in the wall, right? Not only your life is on the line, but you're risking all the other drivers. So it's a high risk occupation, and not everyone can show up and do it. And so if you can do it and you've proven yourself to do it, and you can find a team to sponsor, you can come back. And so there's one lady driving, Catherine Legg is her name. And she doesn't run the Indy series, but she has a team. Year after year, we'll bring her back, and she will run that one race. And she's good, but she's also a bobsledder. So she's like an Olympic bobsledder, you know, on a bobsled team. And she also drives other cars. And so that's what's appealing about the Indianapolis 500 is some of the drivers that show up aren't full-time racers in that particular series, but they're good enough to be there. And so, yeah, because they understand how that kind of racing works, and you need to be an athlete, you know, because you got to handle the G-forces, and you got to handle 500 miles at over 200 miles an hour, you know.
That's why, yeah, dude being 50, way to go, dude.
Right.
Now, tell me, everyone has their different kind of traditions. Why do people drink milk?
I have no idea.
The milk thing?
I don't know. I think that's probably back to, you know, this was out in farmland back in the day, right?
Right.
And so I have no idea. I've never looked up that tradition. But to me, it was always gross because I was never a milk drinker, you know, because it doesn't really agree with me. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I just spent 3 to 4 hours in a car that's 130 degrees because you're in a race suit. The car's hot. They try to do a cooling suit through you. You're just going to be gross and sweaty. And then, oh, give me some milk. It just sounds bad. But But I'm sure that's something from the agricultural days, like I'm guessing. So I don't know. You could probably Google that, but other sports spray champagne. Yeah. Indy 500, the guy's slugging milk.
Sure. Well, what else should our listeners know about the Indy 500? What else should, someone who doesn't know anything take from it?
Well, a couple of things. One, watch the qualifying. So the qualifying is great because each car goes out on its own, and then you want to see, okay, how the competition starts to stack up. And if you're the fastest, you get what's called pole position.
Pole position, yeah.
That means when you start the race, you're on the best line after the flag drops. And so you got the best position up front to be the person who could be in the best spot to win, right? But the race is very dynamic. You got tire flats. They have to actually do fuel. So when they fly in to the pits, they got to change 4 tires usually, and they're putting fuel in, and which makes it also dangerous because the fuel and heat doesn't mix, right? So there's always potential fire problems. And so you got that. So then the lead changes a lot. People move up front while other people are in the pits, but just the overall speed. I mean, they're up there over 200 plus miles an hour the entire race. And what I love is it always comes down to the last laps. Somehow the stars align and there's usually good drama the last, say, 10 laps, And it's like, who's been reserving a little bit of extra speed? There's tactics, like some people are sandbagging, like, oh, I'm running 5th, but they know their car can maybe be the one that's the fastest at the end. And, right. So
now
I love the drama.
The drama, what little I know, okay, the movies, dude, the recent movie F1 about tires and keeping your tires good and stuff. How accurate, or what's a good accurate movie for someone who knows nothing?
Actually,
about any of this.
Formula One is actually the new one with Brad Pitt, just came out last year. That's a great racing movie. Fantastic. I don't know if there's really a good Indy 500 movie, but I would watch the TV series on the Indy. What's the IndyCar TV series? Or you could watch Drive to Survive on Netflix. It follows Formula One, but, I would, it's called 100 Days to Indy on Netflix. Watch that.
Okay.
That's very good. Once you kind of understand what's behind the scenes, then you get it. The beautiful thing about the world we live in is go out to YouTube and say, let me watch the 1950 Indy. Someone will do a 5-minute short of it or something, and then go, I want to watch the 2025 Indy, and you just watch the highlight reel, and you can kind of get a sense of the racing. And then there's people out there that go, hey, we're going to compare these 2 cars. What's the difference between Indy 500 and Formula One? And of course, we haven't even talked NASCAR, but it's all about drama. That's why we watch racing, right? So what's the drama in racing? It's tight competition and trying to keep it safe and on all 4 wheels, right? But that doesn't happen, It is a game of millimeters, and it's a game of thousandths of a second, And when the margins are that tight, humans mess up, and when humans mess up, it's pretty dramatic. And so that's the gist, in my opinion.
Okay, well, what's your setup? You're going out there. You got a hotel. What's your tickets? Where are you at? Are your tickets electronic, Brian?
Yeah, of course. Here's the issue with Indy 500. 250,000 people show up for one race. So that's like a city shows up. So take any NFL game and multiply it by 3 or 4, right? And so it's a huge spectacle in that regard. So I think we got tickets turn 3. So there's 4 turns, right? So we're in turn 3 up in the nosebleed. And so the problem, we got tickets late. So that was like, the best we could do. And also it's like, the hotels now are $800 a night and there's no flights in or out unless you pay a lot of money. So we're going to drive up, and we found a campground actually at a drag strip where they run drag cars. They have a big campground. And so we're going to camp the night before. And then I found a bike trail from our campground to Indy 500. We're going to ride our bikes, and we're going to pay $15 a bike to park and lock our bike up outside of the Indianapolis 500 and get in.
Excellent.
So they really endorse people coming to the race on different modes of transportation to cut down on. I mean, how do you shuffle 250,000 people in and out of parking lots? And so there's like 1,000-person bike ride from one part of Indianapolis that they all ride their bikes into the race. Unfortunately, we're not in that part of town. I was going to join that, ride in.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I found our campground is close to a Rails to Trails bike trail. So I think we got to ride 8-9 miles each way. And, which would be great. That'd be a lot of fun. We can go early in the morning, get there early. I got to check when the gates open. It's kind of like going to baseball. It's like, okay, how soon can we get in to see kind of the setup of the show? Right.
Right. And really it's the show that's part of it too. I know you're up high, but just being part of the spectacle,
right?
Everyone's stories,
Talking to people around you, right? Yeah. The characters, and are people going to dress in their swag? I'm going to be there with no swag. I'll have to buy some swag.
Oh,
you
have no swag at home. You have no.
I have no.
Anything?
I'm a huge race fan, but I don't own any Ferrari hats. I don't own any, T-shirts that say this or that. So yeah, I'm like
follow up. Okay, what would you be looking for? What's your swag of choice? A hat, a shirt, a coat? You have to see it, but what's the norm at these events?
It's usually a hat, right? So of your teams, for me, I like the McLaren team, and they're also a Formula One team. And so I love the McLaren. They have the orange and black. It's a good looking hat. And, Roger Penske owns a team. He also owns the Indianapolis 500 Speedway. So have you ever seen Penske trucks driving down the highway? Yeah. So they're like U-Hauls. Roger's probably the best team owner ever in the sport. His teams have won just about everything, and like many, many times. And also he owns the whole racetrack. So, so a lot of people are Penske fans. I'm not so much. Or Mario Andretti, his son, runs the Andretti race team. So I'm a big fan of them too. So they'll have like 4 cars. The Andretti's will have 4 cars in it. And, so Michael used to be a racer. So he runs his dad's company, and, they'll have team there. And I'm going to look at who qualifies first, and then see where they fall. And then I always like to pick my dark horse, okay, who's the lowest budget team on the grid? And,
how far will they get?
What's interesting, here's a side note. All the cars have to buy the same chassis. What I mean by that is the same frame under, all the carbon fiber and fiberglass, right? And they also have to buy the same aero kit. So that means kind of how the car looks on the outside. After that, there's 2 engine manufacturers. They can pick either Honda or Chevy. And then they can only tweak the car so much inside the rules. So when you see Indy 500, it's really somewhat of a level playing field. Another team can't spend $1 billion and change the car enough that they're so dominant. Like Formula One can, even though they have some cost caps that they're under now. Formula One's about money and innovation. Indy 500's about level playing field. So the person in the back who qualifies the worst, if they get their car tuned up right, they actually have a shot at winning from the back, which is very rare in most sports that an underdog could come from the back and win. Besides horse racing, apparently. So that's why it's also another key sport to watch is don't always count out the high dollar teams as the sure winners. I mean, if you got money and you're organized, you have pretty good results. But I always try to find the team that shows up with one car, they qualified, and they're like, ooh, I'm going to watch them, So that's kind of fun. So, yeah. So what's, you as a observer, anything I say intrigue you?
Yeah, I didn't know that the cars are all kind of the same in that way. It really is an art and a skill to drive.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And obviously you have to be an athlete. And I've known that from the shows and stuff. I'm excited for you. I want to hear a follow-up from this podcast. You've been to races, but you haven't been to this race.
That's right.
And I just want to know when you come back, your takeaways and your stories on how it all went.
Like, are you going to go again? Was it worth the money and the experience?
All the people, the crush of people. And okay, so you've said a lot of stuff. What's 3 things you're looking forward to right now as a in person before we're done here? What are 3 things you're anticipating are going to be sick, dope from your other racing, going experiences?
A couple of things. One, I'm very excited about the camping thing. And here's why is you're camping with fellow race fans, right? Yeah. And that's a big thing in Europe. Like, you go to any big race, even in other parts of the world, if you got a big racetrack, people show up and they camp prior. And it's like this community. It's like tailgating, but camping for racing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited about that, plus the bike ride in. And then I'm excited about, we bought tickets. What do we think of? Is this the best place? Like next time, what would we do? I always love that. Like next time, I want to be down there. I love that about going to your first sporting venue is figuring out the ins and outs. And I think the third part is I'm going with Tanis. She's never been to an auto race ever in her life. And I want to see, does she think it is as cool as I am with the noise, the sound? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to have to take earbuds. The decibels are that loud, so you got to take ear protection. Mm-hmm. Is the visceral experience going to make an impact on her? So I'm excited about that because I've taken my kids to different events like that, and you're like, yeah, we love it because seeing something live is different than seeing on TV, right? Oh, yeah. Anything.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, one last follow-up. What bike you taking in the bike fleet, the Berg bike fleet? You have a lot of choices.
I'm going to take the least expensive one I got because, I'm parking it with 1,000 other bikes and we're parking it in a campground and it's got to sit on the back of a truck. Probably the old Cannondale you sold me. So the old Trail 7. Yeah. So I'll probably take that. And the combination of camping, crowds, loud noises, death-defying feats, car crashes, and overpriced hot dogs, I'm hooked, right? So yeah, I'll have to give you the full scope of swag and food, but never know, man. Maybe I'll talk you into it someday.
Oh, that sounds good.
Well, I tell you what, man, guess what?
What?
Oh, we're out of time, but in the future, after I come back from the race, let's do a follow-up cast. How about that?
I love that.
All right. Well, thanks, friends, for joining us on this episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
And find us everywhere and tell us what you think. Is auto racing worth the hype or not? See ya.